right, you ready for this? We're going deep on Amad Diallo.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
This is a player who everyone's talking about.
It's really a story.
I mean, Abidjan to Old Trafford, come on, that's got to be the stuff of movies, right?
It's incredible. And you know, what I find fascinating is that he's not just like a product of one footballing culture.
Right.
He's got, the Ivorian flair.
Yeah.
But then he mixes that with the Italian tactics.
Yeah.
And now he's in the Premier League, with the speed and the power.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, we've got like everything, his backstory, we've got scouting reports.
App analysis.
Yeah, even some stuff on how youth development works, like in Italy versus England.
It's going to be a good one.
I don't even know where to start with this.
Well, I think before we get to Old Trafford,
Well,
we have to rewind all the way back to the beginning.
Right.
Abidjan, Ivory Coast, 2002.
Okay.
That's where it all began. But his family moved to Italy when he was really young.
Yeah, I read that he joined was it Boca
Barco.
when he was 12. Like, how much do you think?
So young.
Yeah, how much do you think those early years in Italy shaped him as a player?
It's hard to say, but that Italian youth system, it's known for its tactical discipline technique. And you can definitely see that in Diallo's game, right?
Yeah.
He's got that creative spark, but he's also incredibly aware, positionally.
Okay.
And he makes smart decisions with the ball.
So Boca Barco, that was the foundation. But then things really take off when he goes to Atalanta, right?
Atalanta's academy.
Yeah, what is it with the academy? They produce amazing players.
It's they're considered one of the best in Italy.
Wow.
And some say even in Europe, they focus on developing well-rounded players who are comfortable on the ball and, understand tactics.
So it's not just about being flashy.
Yeah.
It's about the whole package.
It's the whole package.
And Diallo, he actually wins 2 Campeonato Primavera 1 titles with them.
Yeah.
Which I had to look that up. That's their top youth league.
Top youth league in Italy.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
So it sounds like his time at Atalanta was essential.
Oh, absolutely.
In getting him ready.
Yeah.
For the next level. And speaking of the next level, he makes his pro debut for Atalanta in 2019 at just 17.
17 years old.
And he scores.
It's crazy.
In that game. Do you remember watching that?
I do. It was against Udinese.
Okay.
He came on as a sub.
Right.
And within minutes, he made an impact. You could just tell, you know. This kid, he had something special. I mean, he became the first player born in 2002 to score in Serie A.
Wow.
You think about that, scoring in one of the top leagues in the world at 17. That's talent.
Not luck.
No.
That's talent.
It's pure talent.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that gets you noticed, right?
Right, yeah.
So then Manchester United comes knocking.
It was January 2021 when they signed him for, it could reach 41 million euros potentially.
Wow. That's a statement
It is.
for a player who had only played a handful of senior games, right?
Yeah. I mean, what did you think when you heard about that transfer?
I wasn't surprised that a big club wanted him.
Right.
Obviously he's talented, but I was curious to see how he would handle the pressure of playing for a club with the history of Manchester United.
A whole different world.
At that age.
Absolutely.
I mean, stepping out onto the pitch at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
You've got the weight of all those legends.
Only your shoulders.
It's different than playing for Atalanta.
It is. The spotlight's bigger. The competition is tougher.
And the fans expect results.
Every single week.
Yeah, so let's talk about his time at United. He scores his first goal in, I think it was a Europa League match.
Huge match.
Against AC Milan.
Yeah.
And it was a backheader, right?
A backheader.
I remember it was a brilliant goal. And it was a crucial moment in the tie.
Right. It showed that he could deliver when it mattered on the big stage.
Yeah, and he had some nice assists in the Premier League too.
Showing his versatility he can create.
And this is all while he's training alongside Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo.
Right.
What do you think he learned from that?
Oh, man. Training with those guys, it's invaluable,
Right.
You learn, the work ethic.
Right.
The professionalism, the attention to detail. It's like a master class.
Yeah, so even if he wasn't playing every week, he was still getting this incredible experience.
Absolutely. But even with that, sometimes a young player needs a different type of challenge,
Okay.
Which is why those loan spells can be so important.
Right. And Diallo had a couple, right? First with Rangers.
Yeah.
Then Sunderland.
Let's dive into those next because they were, I think, crucial moments in his development.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so we've got this amazing rise through the youth system in Italy. big money move to Manchester United, and then it's off to Rangers.
Rangers.
The Scottish Premiership.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that move?
I mean, loan spells,
Yeah.
they can be a bit,
Tricky.
Yeah, tricky. Sometimes it's about getting a young player consistent playing time.
Right.
Sometimes it's about, exposing them to a different style of football.
Uh-huh.
In Diallo's case, I think it was a bit of both. Because the Scottish Premiership, it's a physical league, fast-paced.
Completely different.
It's a different challenge than,
Than Italy
than the Premier League.
Yeah. So it was like a crash course in adapting to a much more
aggressive style in your face.
Yeah.
Okay. And that kind of experience can be so valuable, especially for a player like Diallo, who relies on his quick feet, his technical skills.
Right.
So he had to learn to hold his own against
bigger guys.
Bigger, stronger defenders, yeah.
And how did he do?
I mean, he did pretty well.
Okay.
He scored 3 goals in 10 appearances for Rangers.
Not bad?
No, not bad at all.
For a teenager?
Adjusting to a new league.
Yeah. Did you see any, noticeable changes in his game?
I think he definitely looked more confident.
Okay.
More assertive,
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to take on defenders, even in tight spaces.
Okay.
And he seemed to have a better understanding of, how to use his body.
Interesting.
To shield the ball, win fouls.
Those are the things you can't really, coach?
No, you learn that by playing in a league like that.
Okay, so after Rangers, Sunderland, and they were in the championship then, right?
Championship, yep.
So a step down from the Premier League.
It is.
But it seemed like he did really well there.
He thrived there, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, Sunderland played a more of a possession-based style under Alex Neil.
Okay.
Which gave Diallo more space to operate and really showcased those dribbling skills and his creativity. Plus, the championship, I mean, it's a grind, games practically every few days.
Yeah.
He got a ton of playing time, which is, what a young player needs at that stage.
And the results speak for themselves.
13 goals in 37 appearances.
That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. And he was a key part of their promotion push that season.
Okay.
So, it was clear that he'd taken another big step forward.
It seems like those loan spells were really, carefully chosen to,
targeted, yeah.
Yeah, to, address specific areas of his game.
Yeah, I think Manchester United, they've gotten a lot better at that in recent years.
Oh.
They have a good network of clubs they work with.
Right.
And they put a lot of thought into where a player will get the best experience.
It's not just about sending him to, the highest level possible.
No, it's got to be the right fit.
The right fit, yeah.
For their development.
So for Diallo, it seems like it really paid off.
Oh, absolutely.
Came back to United a more, I don't know.
Mature player.
Yeah, more mature.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
He'd proven himself in 2 very different leagues.
Right.
And added, new dimensions to his game.
Okay, so the question is, can he translate that success back to the Premier League?
That's the big question.
Yeah, but first, can we touch on his international career?
Of course.
He's representing Ivory Coast, right?
He is.
That must be pretty special for him.
Oh, absolutely. Made his debut in 2021.
Okay.
Already earned 6 caps, scored 1 goal.
So he's playing at a high level internationally.
Yeah.
Even while he's, trying to
cement his place.
Yeah, at United.
Yeah, it's a reminder that, his career.
Yeah.
It's not just about
Trafford.
Old Trafford?
Yeah.
He could be a star for both club and country.
Absolutely.
But the path to becoming a legend, especially at a club like Manchester United, it's rarely straightforward.
Okay, so let's talk about that path.
All right.
What might be in store for Diallo?
Yeah, what's next?
Okay, so we've followed Amad Diallo from Abidjan to Manchester by way of Italy, and some pretty key loan spells.
Yeah, quite the journey.
The question now is, where does he fit in at Manchester United?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I mean, they've got a squad full of attacking talent.
They do. I mean, it's a good problem for the manager to have.
Right.
But
a tough one.
A tough one for a young player trying to,
to break through.
Yeah, break through.
You've got Rashford, Sancho, Anthony.
And vying for those attacking spots.
Yeah.
And then you've got, other promising youngsters coming through the ranks.
So how does Diallo stand out? What makes him special?
Well, I think he's got that rare combination of pace, trickery, and an eye for goal. He can play on either wing. He's comfortable cutting inside, and he's not afraid to take on defenders.
Yeah, I read somewhere someone compared him to a young Ronaldo.
The Ronaldo comparisons.
Is that fair? Or is that just like hype?
I mean, it's easy to get carried away with comparisons.
Right, especially at United.
Especially at a club like Manchester United.
Every young winger
yeah.
with a bit of flair is the next Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do see some similarities in their style of play. You know,
Yeah.
Diallo's got that explosiveness, that ability to beat defenders, you know, with a sudden burst of speed or a change of direction.
But Ronaldo, even in his early days, was known for his work ethic.
Yeah.
Dedication. Do you see that in Diallo?
I think so. I think so. From everything I've read, I've heard, he seems like a very dedicated professional, you know?
Right.
Always looking to improve.
Okay.
Good listener,
Yeah.
willing to put in the work.
But talent and hard work, it's not always enough, right?
It's not. No.
Right.
You need the right manager.
Yeah.
The right system, a bit of luck.
Yeah.
To make it at a top club.
The managerial merry-go-round at these big clubs can be brutal.
Brutal. A new manager comes in.
Yeah.
Different ideas, different players, and suddenly you're out of favor.
So it's not just about being good enough.
No.
It's about
being the right fit at the right time. It's timing.
Do you think there's a possibility that Diallo leaves United?
I mean, it's certainly possible, right? He's still young. He's got, you know, enormous potential.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of clubs out there who would love to have him.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not getting the opportunities he needs at United,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be surprising to see him move on.
But it's also possible that he stays.
Oh, absolutely.
Fights for his place.
Yeah.
And becomes a key player for them.
I mean, we've seen it happen with other young talents.
Right.
It just depends.
It all comes down to,
Yeah, you know, right opportunities, right timing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Amad Diallo's career, it feels like we're at a crossroads.
At a crossroads, he's got a big decision to make.
Stay and fight or move on?
To be honest, I don't envy him that decision.
Yeah.
But whatever he chooses, I'll be watching.
Me too.
With great interest.
He's a special talent.
Yeah.
I think he's got a bright future.
I think so too.
Well, listeners, that's Amad Diallo.
Keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on him. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
See ya.